Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch Training Tips. I get a lot of letters and emails from people with training and behavior questions about their equines. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning with a series of training tips that work for all equines. The whip is used in lunging to create movement and encourage impulsion, during lunging training in the round pen, while ground driving, and while lunging in the open arena on the lunge line. It should never be used abusively for any reason, only for encouragement.
Good girl, come on.
When lunging, avoid desensitizing your equine to the whip. Abrupt movements can sometimes be helpful in getting the correct response, such as encouraging forward movement to the rail, increased impulsion on the circle,
Vicky, first!
and later executing a prompt reverse. When you first send him to the rail of the round pen, your equine may not understand what you're asking. Begin by having him track to the left. Point in the direction of travel and then crack the whip behind his haunches. This should spook him enough to move him forward and to the rail. Then follow up with cracks of the whip if he begins to slow down or waver from the rail. When he moves away from the rail, don't hesitate to step closer to him, keeping your eyes focused on his hindquarters to keep the forward movement and to regulate consistency in his gait. If he ignores the whip, you can try hitting the fence hard behind him. The noise will most likely startle him and send him forward where a silent whip may not. If he still resists, you will need to make contact with his hindquarters on the fatty part of his hip above his hock, but only once, and then wait for the surge forward. If the surge does not come, you can then strike him again, but always be patient and wait long enough for the surge ahead before striking him again. The strike should be a forceful flicking of the tip of the whip and not laying the entire lash across his entire back end. With practice, you will be able to strike wherever you aim and manage the severity of the strike. Once he understands that the whip is simply to reinforce your verbal communication and body language, you can then do an exercise to acquaint him with the whip. This exercise will let him know it's not meant for punishment, only for direction. Use the whip as an extension of your hands and touch him all over with it, much like you did during kicking training, but do not strike the whip. Just caress his entire body with the lash while soothing him with your voice. He will soon discover the whip is not a threat, but rather a directive device.